And then over here, slow, right? And so what types of transportation is fast? Airplane, what else? Train's pretty fast, yeah. Okay. And then what's slow? Bicycle, bus, whatever, bus, you get the idea. Okay, so that's one category. What's another way we could categorize transportation?
Cost, expensive, private.
Very good. Expensive, inexpensive, okay? You can do the same thing. So what's the most expensive?
Airplane.
Airplane, you get in. What's the least expensive?
Walking.
Walking. On foot. Yeah, exactly. You get the idea. Okay. What's another type of categories?
Public-private.
Public-private. Okay. So you get the idea? No matter what level you are teaching in vocabulary, I mean, if you're at book 4, you can do this kind of categorization and it works out okay. Okay? You get that idea? Okay, let's just continue to the next one. Extend the vocabulary, number 3. The teacher elicits from the students more words not found in the book. That's very simple. You do that all the time, I'm sure. Number 4, the teacher asks questions about the vocabulary. How do you get to class? Do you prefer? I think you already know that. Okay, now I like number 5. And why didn't I ever do this when I was teaching? I'm just kicking myself. Have you ever done paired spelling before? This is such an easy, simple job. I mean, as a teacher, I would give spelling quizzes all the time. I would say, okay, class, take out a piece of paper, and I would say, okay, spell airplane. I'd say it twice, write it down. And I would say, spell bicycle. They would write it down. But why not do it in pairs? With one student looking at the book and telling the other student to write it down and do it. Why is that more effective than having just the teacher do it?
It's interactive.
I'm sorry?
Interactive between students.
It's interactive, and what else is happening?
Pronunciation.
One student's practicing pronunciation, and the other's trying to listen. Now, what if that one student's pronunciation is terrible? That's maybe a good thing, because what does the other student have to do? The other student has to ask for clarification, right? And so that's actually a step as a teacher you may want to teach your students right away. You should actually, anyway, the first couple of weeks of class, excuse me, could you please repeat that? I didn't understand. Could you say it again? These forms of asking for clarification are necessary to teach your students, and they need to learn to feel safe and comfortable asking each other the same thing if they don't understand. Because they're going to be working together a lot. Okay, you get that idea? Okay, so paired spelling, number 5, I think is a wonderful one. And then number 6, bingo. We won't do this today, but bingo is just a hoot. That's really fine, really fun to do. Well, actually, let me just show you how you can do bingo really quick. You got a piece of paper or something? I would like you to write down, just right now, look at this picture and write down 3 objects that you see. They don't have to be transportation. Just write down 3 objects on a piece of paper real quick. Just real quick. Just write down 3 objects real quick. Don't think hard about it. 3 objects you see in the picture. 1, 2, 3. Okay, stop. You should have them. Now I'm going to say it. And if you, once you get to all 3 of them being called off, what do? You yell out bingo, right? And I'm going to check. Okay.
Give a prize.
And I'll give you a prize. Yeah, I got to give you a prize too. I got to think of prizes. Okay.
As teachers, we have to think about a prize.
All right. Number 1, bus. Number 2, briefcase. Number 3, backpack. Number 4, signal. Traffic lights. Next, whatever it is, airplane. Does anybody have 1? We have 2? Everybody have 2? Okay, we got several 2. Okay. Car. Bag. Man. Woman.
Man's not an
Man's not an object? Okay, well. Okay, well, things. I should have said things. Okay. Does anybody have 2? How many people have 2? Oh my gosh, we got a lot of people with 2. Let's see. Steering wheel. How about building? Truck. Crosswalk. Street sign.
Bingo.
Okay, I think you get the idea. And then you should, we have two, here's that channel. That's how easy you can do bingo in your classroom, okay? And so you can do it, and students love it. You can just instantly do a bingo game. You don't have to write out the bingo cards. You can just have them do 3 or 5, write down 5 words or something like that, and it's great. You guys do
You just fold paper.
Yeah, you can just fold the paper if you want, so that's a fun little activity. And then the last one, number 7, let's just look at number 7. And that's actually right in the book. If you look at page 115, this is where you actually then get the students to do the activities in the book, right? Any questions about that so far? Okay. What I want to do at this point, we were working out of this book right now, book 1, because it has a picture dictionary, and it's different from books 3 and 4. I'm going to shift gears here a little bit, and we're going to start working out of book 3, just so you can see the progression. I want you to get to the point where if any of you are asked to actually teach a class at another level, you would feel comfortable doing it, because it's the same process. So if you could pull out a book 3, and I don't know if we have enough book 3s around, we have to share, that's okay. But I'd like you to just look at book 3, and we'll go from there.
So does book 3 have a picture dictionary?
Book 3 does not have a picture dictionary at the beginning. That's why I want to show you right now. Very good point.
And that's the level that starts at? Book 2, in other words, has one?
Book 2 has a picture dictionary, but book 3 does not. Where am I going? So what we're going to do is kind of shift gears and go to book 3. Okay. Once you get to books 3 and 4, as I've written up here, the units are a little bit different. You have an opening page instead of a picture dictionary, but it's pretty much the same, and then it pretty much continues similarly, okay? You've got grammar with activities, you have the big picture, reading, writing, English, and action. Oops. So let's look, I don't have a little page on that. Let's look at an opening page. In fact, let's look at the one that was on the, let's just go back and I'll show you one here. I don't know if you can see this very well, but this is from Unit 1. So if we all turn to Unit 1 on page number 2, it does not have a picture dictionary because the students are a little more advanced. They don't need the picture dictionary anymore. So what we have instead is some kind of a picture or 2 or 3 pictures with some kind of a reading is usually the format, okay? In this case, because it's the first week, it's some review. It's getting the students kind of back into getting to know each other, reviewing of what they are. And so this is talking about Kenji, where he's from, what he's doing, etc., etc. Then it moves on to page number 3. A little bit more following up on it. There's an interview, listening interview, etc., when they actually get to find out more about Kenji. Okay, so that's what the difference is between books 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But then going on to the next section, you do get into grammar. So let's just look at the grammar explanations. And you can continue in, doesn't really matter. We can look at page 4 and 5. And this would be the same with book 1, 2, 3, or 4, but you have grammar introduced through grammar boxes. Now, there are 3 ways you will be introduced to the grammar. One is through just an example of the grammar. Then you'll have an explanation of the grammar. And then in the back of the book, I really like this. If you turn to the back of your book, page number 240, you have a grammar summary of every grammar point that's introduced and taught in the book. Okay, so this is very, very handy for you and for the student, especially for the student, so they get a good summary of all the grammar that they've been working. Okay? Now, I'd like to deviate here a little bit as well and talk a little bit about grammar, because grammar is essential to teaching. In fact, some people say that that's the fifth skill. You know what the 4 skills are in teaching? Listening, speaking, reading, writing. The fifth one is grammaring. Grammaring, okay. Actually, one of our authors, Diane Larson Freeman, she's very well respected. She helped author she co-authored the grammar book, which is a kind of the Bible of grammar books that's out there, and we happen to publish it. She's a now professor at the University of Michigan. She heads up the department there. She's an excellent professor, and she introduced the term grammaring. And the point about grammaring is we don't just teach about the grammar, we teach them how to use the grammar, right? What good is it if your students can say, well, the ing tense is formed by adding ing to this? What good is it if they can't use it, okay? So I'd like to just go back, all of you just to think for a second. We're going to play a little exercise here. Go back in time. For me, it's a long time. Go back and think about the first foreign language teacher you ever had. Or if you can't think of the first foreign language teacher, think of your favorite foreign language teacher. You know, what language teacher, what were you learning? Was it Spanish? Was it French? Was it, maybe it was English, I don't know. Think of your favorite foreign language teacher. Okay, you got that? Why did you like that teacher?
She spoke a lot.
Okay, let's just kind of keep it in your heads now. Why did you like that teacher? Okay, good. How did that teacher teach grammar? How did that teacher teach grammar? Okay, and the last question, did you learn the language? Okay, I'd like to just kind of share, we can all kind of share a little bit about your favorite English teacher, or not favorite, your favorite foreign language teacher. Okay, does anyone want to hazard a guess? What's the first one? Do you remember that teacher and where it was? Yeah, go ahead.
I was taking Latin 1, and she realized that the freshmen did not know English grammar by and large. So she said, we're not going to learn one thing in Latin, and we'll teach you the first 6 weeks of school grammar in English so you understand what grammar is. And then she went on to teach Latin. I loved that. I thought that was smart.
Wow. Okay. And do you still speak
No,
Latin
I
today?
mean, Latin, hey, freshman in high school, are you kidding?
Yeah. Okay, but you did like that, okay?
Yeah, I like it that she knew that we wouldn't know what case was.
Sure. As native speakers, we don't
Yeah.
learn that kind of thing. What about you?
I think I'm with Sharon, because I learned Latin first, but at the same time, but I think it's the linking it to your native language and
That's
showing
right, the
the
bridge.
structure of so many languages are similar, and that regardless of what you call it, you're going to have that structure in every language you learn, so that the transferability of what you already know, and learning how to find, especially starting with Latin, roots of words, and recognizing word families from the roots.
So that was important for you in learning the foreign language.
Yeah,
What was that foreign language?
French,
You still speak it today? A little bit?
badly, but.
Bad, okay.
That's my problem. I learned French for like 8 or 9 years, and the teachers used to teach from a grammar book, and I learned nothing.
They taught from a grammar book?
French,
And you learned
nothing. I hated
there's a-
grammar exercises. I never teach that way. I never
Beautiful.
use.
Okay, see, here we're getting a little bit of different ideas here. Does someone
Because,
else
you
have
know,
this experience to share?
In India, we have this philosophy. At my school, I had that philosophy. A language is caught, not taught. And the more the teacher speaks, and the more you listen to the language, you're going to learn. Now, I had in my classroom this year a couple of students that came from Afghanistan and Egypt. They spoke English very well. They cannot spell, they cannot write, but they speak it very well.
Interesting. So we're
So,
kind of getting some different opposing
Basically,
views here. So how
the
do we
British
teach
system
grammar?
is that the language is caught, not taught,
Taught,
and grammar
not taught.
kills completely.
What about you? Go ahead.
I first learned French in middle school in Mexico, Spanish class, but I knew it was an English class. But since I was a native speaker, she she said, I'll teach you French on the side, put another language. But what she did was, she didn't just give me drills. She, after she released the class early,